Welcome to the Be Your Best Self blog by Marcia Abbott. I did it again. I promised myself I wouldn't do it again, and then I did it. Again, a couple times actually. Traveling is one of my favorite things. I love new experiences, new places, and new memories. The more time I have for traveling, the happier I truly am. Or so I always thought. But when I took a short trip this summer and then again this winter with my family, I realized that my actions speak a whole lot louder than the words I just wrote. Because even though I am doing something I love, you would never know from my attitude. I take a situation that's supposed to be fun, carefree, and full of happiness, and I turn it into a stressful mess. And after this summer's trip, I promised myself I wouldn't do it again. But by this winter, here I was, doing it again. It all starts with the big list that needs to be done while preparing for our trips. Things like catching up on wash, emptying the dishwasher, taking out all the trash, packing and hoping not to forget anything, being sure everything is organized at work, and the list never ends. I spend 2 weeks prior to a trip stressing about what all needs to be done, and by doing that, I'm exhausted by the time the trip is even here, which ends up putting me in a bad mood, making it no fun for those people traveling with me. And then let's not forget about being on vacation and trying not to think about all the catch-up work that is involved upon returning. Knowing that all of the extra effort it took to get on this trip, there will be double required when I get back. And so here's what ends up happening. All of that happiness and excitement that should fill up this moment, well, it turns into stress. And the most ironic part of it all, I do it to myself. Go figure. Do you ever catch yourself doing this? Do you have a time that's supposed to be full of joy and really just pure bliss? But with your attitude and actions, you turn it into something else altogether. And maybe it's not just with travel. Maybe it's a family wedding, the birth of a baby, or even a birthday or anniversary celebration in your life. Are you guilty of taking your enjoyment and turning it into chaos instead? If so, then just know that you're certainly not alone. And when I caught myself being guilty of this during our summer trip, I promised myself I would never do it again. But yet here I was this winter doing it again. So this time around, I am making myself a promise that I can't break, for real this time. And if you want to change this in your life too, then make this promise along with me and let's walk on this new and better road together. So what will this new road look like? How will this new path be different going forward? And how do we take a joyous occasion and keep it joyful? It's going to require us to do something very hard. We're going to have to change. Well, at least a little bit anyway. We have to promise ourselves to do something that I've never been very good at. We need to stop thinking about tomorrow while we're living out today. We're going to need to do a better job of just living in the moment, at being where our feet are at. Because as I continue to grow older, I've realized a few very important things. Getting to enjoy some of these special moments in life is a true gift. So why wouldn't we want to savor it as much as we can? Whatever does or doesn't get done leading up to those important moments really doesn't matter. Not everything always needs to be planned perfectly. This time will pass as fast as all of the others, and life will fall back into place no matter what gets done or what is put off. So why stress either way? And finally, there's no better feeling than living for today and living for this moment that we have right now. The future is never promised. It's only the present that we have. So why in the world shouldn't we make the best out of what today has to offer? When it comes to traveling, my favorite part of life, I really did promise myself I wouldn't do it again. But then I did it anyway. Nonetheless, I'm going to try to change. At least a little bit. I'm going to work really hard at living for today instead of worrying too much about what tomorrow will hold. If you agree, then let's walk on this road together and make the best out of each today that we are given. Because if this one simple change will end up making life more enjoyable, then it's one promise that is definitely worth keeping. For those of you struggling with something in life, or if you have a topic of interest that you want me to talk about in this blog, email me at beyourbestselfblog@gmail.com. Let's work together to be our very best selves. Click below on the subscribe button for my weekly updates.